Today I'm going to be making something called a cream cheese pie. It's a very old recipe. My great grandmother used to make it, and it's a cheesecake. To me, it's cheesecake. It tastes just like a cheesecake. But maybe it was so old, it's called a cream cheese pie. I'm not sure why it's called that. But the recipe that I got, that's what the name was on the recipe. I make mine in a springform pan. She did not. She made it in a regular pie pan. And it works like that. I use a springform pan just because I think it's a prettier presentation. And it's a cheesecake, so I guess my thinking is it needs to be a springform pan. But you can make it in either. If you don't have a springform pan, you can make it in a pie pan because that's how she always did it. It's got like a little sour cream topping. It's very easy to make. It's very basic, but it's so good. It's my favorite cheesecake that I've ever had. Maybe it's just nostalgia or whatever, but I think it's so good. The first thing I'm going to do is crush up some vanilla wafers for the crust. The original recipe calls for a graham cracker crust, and I'll put that recipe will be on there also for the graham cracker crust. Honestly, I like vanilla wafer or butter cookie crust better for cheesecakes and little pies like that. So I'm going to be using vanilla wafers today, but you can certainly use graham crackers, butter cookies, whatever you like. The first thing I'm going to do is crush up some vanilla wafers. And the way that I do them, I don't have a food processor. I do have a blender, but I was too lazy to get it out of the cabinet and plug it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some vanilla wafers in here, and I just crush it with my rolling pin. I need about a cup and a half or one sleeve of graham crackers. So I'm just going to crush up a little bit at a time until I get about a cup and a half of crumbs. So I'm just going to crush up my vanilla wafers first. So I've got my vanilla wafers in here. I'm just going to push all the air out and seal it. And this does make a little bit of noise, but it's still less noise than a food processor or blender. So I'm just going to beat these and then roll them back and forth. And there's somebody sleeping on the couch right now that's probably not too happy with me doing this. But here we go. See? There we go. Crumbs, and you don't have to clean a food processor or anything. So let me measure this and see how much I've got. All right, I got my crumbs in here, and it was about a cup and a half, maybe close to a cup and 3/4. But y'all, a graham cracker crust or a cookie crust like this, the measurements do not have to be exact. I have made it so many times it didn't measure anything at all. Just threw stuff in there. To me, I think as long as you have enough butter in there to hold the crumbs together, then it's okay. But anyway, so in here I've got a cup and 3/4. I'm gonna go ahead and say a cup and 3/4. I was trying for a cup and a half, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of sugar. Just mix that around with a fork. All right, now I've got 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Pour that in there. And again, just mix that around with a fork. All right, now I've got my 9-inch springform pan that I'm going to press this down into. I'm going to dump all of it in there. And I'm going to spread it out. And I can definitely tell that I used more than a cup and a half, but it's going to be okay. Just going to, my hands are giving me trouble today, so I'm going to switch hands. I'm just going to press that down in there. And I like to work from the center out. One of these days I'm going to get like a real camera so y'all can see what I'm doing. But I work from the center of it out, pushing out, so that it'll like come up the sides a little bit. Now I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 for 5 minutes. All right, now I'm going to get our filling ready. As I've said before, I do not have a hand mixer, but I am getting one this week. I promise you that, because used to I could just mix stuff by hand if I didn't want to have to deal with cleaning the stand mixer and everything, but it's getting to where my hands are just retarded. They just won't do what they're supposed to do, so I'm going to have to get a hand mixer. But I don't feel like dealing with the stand mixer today, so I am going to try to beat this by hand. really all you do with this part is put it all in here and beat it together till it's smooth. What I'm gonna put in here is 2 packs of cream cheese, and these are, what size are these? 8 ounces. So I'm gonna put in 16 ounces of cream cheese. All right, so I got my cream cheese in there and on my finger too. I'm gonna put in 2 large eggs, and these are some beautiful yard eggs that my friend Debbie sent me. She has lots of chickens. They always have tons of eggs this time of year. And I really love it when she sends me the little bitty eggs, like the little Banny rooster, Banny chicken eggs. But anyways, thank you, Debbie, for the eggs. So we'll put in 2 large eggs. And y'all, I don't know if y'all have never noticed this, if y'all have used yard eggs or brown eggs, but to me, the brown yard eggs, if you're boiling them, they peel easier than any other color egg to me. But anyways, I'll put my 2 eggs in here. All right, now I'm gonna put in a teaspoon of vanilla. Oh, our crust is ready. And I'm gonna put in 1 cup of sugar, just regular granulated sugar. And that's it, that's all that's in it. And you're supposed to beat it till it's smooth. And like I said, I'm going to attempt to do this by hand so I don't have to clean my stand mixer and all that today. But anyways, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna try to beat this. If I can't do it by hand, then I'm gonna put it on my stand mixer. I'm just gonna beat it till it's smooth. You don't have to beat it a long time or anything like that, just until it's all incorporated and smooth. All right, well, I had to break out the trusty old stand mixer, but that's okay, we got it done. And while I was letting this mix on the stand mixer, I was daydreaming, and I was thinking, you know, maybe this is called a pie and not a cheesecake because there's no flour in it. I don't know. But anyways, now we're gonna pour this into our crust. All right, and just smooth it out. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the oven and bake it for 35 minutes. I do have, look at that, I get something on me every single time. I do have a piece of foil on my bottom rack in my oven just in case anything leaks out of the springform pan. I don't know if you've ever used a springform pan, but there's a separate plate down here on the bottom, and you pop this thing open to get the cake out, or you close it to hold that pan on underneath there. So there is a crack, so certain things cooked in a springform pan, grease or butter, whatever, can leak out. So I've got a piece of foil on my bottom rack just in case something leaks out of here. It shouldn't, but if it does, it'll catch that for me. So anyways, I'm gonna go bake this on at 350 for 35 minutes. All right, so while our pie or cheesecake is baking, I'm gonna make the sour cream topping. It's a cup of sour cream, and I hate measuring sour cream. And mayonnaise is pretty much the same way too. Cup of sour cream. Also gonna put in 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. Again, you could use whatever excuse me. Again, you could use whatever extract you want. Like I said, sometimes I use almond instead, but I love almond extract. I've used lemon juice or lemon extract for both of them also. So really just whatever extracts you want. Change up the flavor a little bit. And I'm just going to mix all this together. And whenever the cheesecake is done, or the pie is done, whatever we're going to call it, cheesecake pie, whenever it's done, we're going to put this on top of it, spread this on top of it, and bake it for a few more minutes. All right, so it's been 35 minutes. I took our cheesecake out. Now I'm just going to take this, sorry about that noise. Drew Breeze has a new toy for a pig, and he's obsessed with it, so Breeze. So I'm going to put this sour cream topping on top of our cheesecake. Just put it on there. I'm going to spread it around. Spread this around on it. All right, now we're going to put this back in the oven for 5 more minutes. All right, so we baked that for 5 minutes with the sour cream topping. Now I've just got it on a cooling rack, and I'm going to let it cool for a little bit before I take it out of the springform pan. So it's been about 45 minutes since I took this out of the oven. I should probably wait a little longer to try to get it out of the springform pan, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm probably going to regret it. Get this off of here. Now, I don't know if you've ever used a springform pan before, but see, it's got this little latch right here. You're just gonna undo it, and it'll open up a little thing. Hold on. Forgot. I'm gonna take a little butter knife and just go around the edges. Make sure it's not stuck so it doesn't rip my whole pie in half. Get this off. Lost a few little pieces, but that's okay. Now, if it was completely cold, I would try to slide this pie off of this little metal pan, but I'm not going to because it's still warm. I guess I could go ahead and cut a piece for y'all. It's probably going to fall apart because it's not cool all the way. So let's see. It's probably going to be a disaster. Let me try to cut this. Let's see. Here we go. It did it. Look, it did it. It didn't completely fall apart. All right, well, there you have it. Cream cheese pie or a cheesecake, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to take a bite of it. I've never eaten this hot before. So let's see. I love that. I'm taking another bite. But anyways, I just made some coffee. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go drink my afternoon coffee and eat this little piece of pie. And I'll see y'all next time.